talked with Sage and Steven and Jawan extensively. Like, they're my homies. So I had a good idea of pretty much everything that happened, everything that was said. Watching it back live for me was more an opportunity to come full circle with the experience, which felt very fulfilling and satisfying. That's a great question. You're actually the first person to ask it. And so Sage called me almost like instantly once she got home, and we talked extensively. And something that I love about me and Sage's relationship is our ability to hear each other. And because we have a certain emotional maturity, I feel like when we are aware of our own triggers and we're both very secure in who we are, and so we're able to hear someone else without getting defensive. And so me and Sage have had some fantastic conversations, and after our first or second conversation, it ended with, Shannon, I just want you to know, like, I cannot wait to hug you. And we did get to have our first hug in Boston around a month ago, and it was really awesome, and it was really emotional. And me and Sage are both very emotional people with who wear our hearts on our sleeves, obviously. So it was great to, it's been a really special opportunity to heal that friendship, navigate that friendship. And I think there's actually a certain depth to the friendship that we do have now, because of what we've been through together. So in the moment, right, to be blindsided, and I was so blindsided. Like, I was shocked. I was shocked. So in that moment, like, there's almost this, like, this is really cool. This is really epic. Like, the fan in me, because, like, not everyone gets to experience a blind side. You know what I mean? And so there's that element of, like, okay, the game, this is happening right now. This is really happening. And for me, it was important. I was always very aware that I could get voted out. I was always very aware that I could get blindsided. I was aware of the game that I was playing, and I knew that if and when that happened, I wanted to handle it with a certain level of grace and respect for myself and the players. So, although the dagger was fully going through my heart, and although I was fully shocked, I feel like I was able to process that very quickly to then give people hugs and then to go over to Sage. Her offering the handshake, for me, it was more just kind of like my brain was like, what's happening here, right? Because like it was already so much to then the handshake. So it wasn't until actually afterwards where I was like, oh geez, like she didn't accept a hug. Like, I wonder what's there. And for me, it was difficult to almost like have that as like an open loop because obviously I couldn't talk to her about it. But it was a great opportunity for personal growth, that's for sure. Finding peace in the moment, no matter what's happening, no matter the situation. So it was difficult. And I was more concerned about what happened and like, did I hurt her? Because I never wanted to hurt anybody. I never wanted to hurt anyone's feelings. So for me, it became more about like, I hope like I didn't do anything to hurt her. And after talking, it was personal for her in certain ways. But I understand, the strategic, personal, just how it evolved throughout the game. So it was surprising, yeah.
Believe that?
Ellie, that's
No,
deep.
yeah, where you saw it looked like you were trying to comfort yourself in a moment of shock.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if you saw me walking out. I said all good. That was me instantly
Yeah.
kind of going into like, because your body in that moment, we're watching a TV show, but like it becomes the life you're living. Like I'm starving. I'm tired. I miss my family. I'm sleeping outside and I'm surrounded by people who I don't know if I can trust. Like the cortisol is very high, the adrenaline's very high. You're living out this dream. It's epic. It's incredible, right? It's so cool. And so there's so many emotions, and then to already be in that hemisphere and then have to get blindsided, it's just shocking. And it was just really important for me to be able to respond in that moment from kindness and from who I am versus react. Because if I reacted, I would have fainted, like if I really responded to what my emotions were feeling in that second, in that moment, it would have been a very different situation. But I wanted to leave with a certain amount of integrity, and respect and love. And so I think that it's funny because the part of me, I think, I feel like I would have felt bad for doing that to somebody too, to blindside somebody. So I think I almost didn't want them to feel bad too. I wanted to leave them with them knowing it's okay. You know, because I just have so much compassion and love and respect for anyone who plays the game. That I didn't want to have a situation where I caused them any further stress than there already is in the game. Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, my understanding is very different than that because one of the first conversations I had with Sage after our first tribe swap was, let's say what we need to say to get through this. Let's say what we need to say to get through this. So, although I knew some people may have said to Sage that I was saying her name, I trusted her so much because I felt like even if that happened, she knew we were doing what we needed to do to get through it. So I felt like I had this really unique bond with Sage. Naturally, I had to adjust to so many situations where I knew no one would believe if I just like kind of played dead and like that wasn't going to be my role. Like I was like, I'm going to give this my all. I am going to be as strategic as possible. I'm going to offer them the best that I got. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And after talking to Sage, because me and Sage have talked for hours at this point, just understanding her perspective and where she was coming from, I know for Sage, and she told me this, and this could be something that, you know, it's more her story to tell than mine. But I know for her, like me and her did bond really closely very early. And then I know that I know that became aware that I was closer with Savannah and Rizzo and Nate. And she has just explained to me how that was like emotionally difficult to some degree as well, which I totally understand. And so she realized I was closer with other people. Um, and not I was closer with other people than I was with her. And she did what she had to do for what she thought was best for her game. From my perspective, the biggest threat from that alliance, I would say Rizzo's in a really good spot. I don't think that people are seeing him as a huge threat outside of his idol, and I think if he uses his idol and having it and knowing that people knows that he has it, he can use that to play strategically as well, you know, and him and Savannah have both been pretty set up with the tribe swaps and being in the dominant space there, which has not only helped them get further, but also has deepened their relationships with each other as well. So I think Rizzo's in a pretty good spot because I don't think people are going to necessarily see him as like the head of the Snake of the Alliance. Plus, he has the idol, so he can use that intentionally as well. I think there's three things that I think are it's just kind of cool to know. One is me and Jawan's alliance that he approached me about on day one. It was called the Salt and Pepper Alliance, and I just said to it yes to it instantly. I love Jawan so much, and I loved him back then too. I later realized I feel like I couldn't trust him as much. But it was interesting because when he blindsided me, like when he gave me that hug, he goes salt and pepper, you know, and it was kind of sick. And so I think that's one kind of cool thing. Two is that alliance of the 222 from the three different tribes that I was trying to create. It did come together, obviously without the people who weren't there, but me, Christina, Steven, Alex, and then I wanted to bring in Rizzo, and we wanted Alex to bring in Blue Sophie, hypothetically, obviously. That alliance came together. I named it the Family, and I thought that was a cool alliance. And I feel like that's important to understanding why I wanted to vote out Jawan was because I wanted to maintain relationships with those people. And then the third thing that I just think is important and relevant to my story and why I trusted Sage so much was because I felt like even if she knew people were saying that I said her name, we said, let's say what we need to say to get through this, which is why I never worried about it. So those are the three things that I feel are relevant. I, yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I was shocked. I was shocked. And so if it wasn't gonna be Jawan, like I didn't know who it was gonna be. There was a moment when my name came up the first time and the second time, like, that little bit of hope was like, what if a different name comes out? But that wouldn't have really made any sense. Um, so I definitely thought it was going to be Jawan, And I love Jawan. That's why I put like the little hearts next to his name. So it's an interesting game. It's an interesting game to play, because I really do just like love these people so much. It's interesting sometimes to reflect on like how I ended up like in this arena of sorts.